right now we're seeing a change in how people perceive the global superpowers, like America is not invincible, it seems, and European Union is not that sorted like what we used to think. So this perspective is happening. So do you think in terms of finance also some change of perspective shift will happen amongst people?
So there are a couple of things. One, the question presumes that the global there will be a shift in global powers.
Right.
Not too
It's
sure about
seeming,
that.
it's,
I'll be
yeah,
very
it's
honest.
seeming like,
It
it's
seems like
seeming.
that, yes. But if you look at numbers, if you look at data, the entire I was just looking at some data. The entire European Union, the GDP of the European Union is $18 trillion. Um, the Chinese GDP is around $14 trillion. Guess what the US GDP is? One second, there is a crow calling somewhere close by, and
It's
this is
okay.
another thing that this is another thing that you get during the lockdown. You can hear all the birds and stuff.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. So I was saying. So the GDP of the European Union is $18 trillion. The GDP of the Chinese economy, or the Chinese economy size, is close to around $14 trillion. United States, even despite its slowness in growth or ineptitude or whatever you call it, is still $21 trillion. Alone, United States is more than European Union. It's more than China. India very low in that overall scheme of things. If you compare it to the US, of course, we're about fifth or sixth, I believe. Our GDP is close to $3 trillion. So US is seven times bigger than India, definitely bigger than China as well. So to say that there will be a shift in global power, US will become weak and all of that, that is unlikely to happen. US crossed England as the world's largest GDP over 100 years ago, and ever since it has continued to stay the largest GDP in the world over 100 years. And once a country does that, it's not about being at the top, it's about staying at the top. So they do have systems in place. Talking about medical systems world over, we've seen it just takes one global virus for the world to know that how lacking we are in medical infrastructure, in the way we perceive our systems to be, the social systems, etc. So there will be a big shift. Now there will be a big cultural shift where people will start looking at hospitals as an important place. They will start looking at healthcare as an important investment space, because usually what happens is that until there is something drastic that happens, there is not much in terms of development. So if you look at it from the brighter side, crises usually accelerate developments. Do you know the medium via which we're talking right now, the internet? How did that happen? The internet, the idea, the germ of the internet came in World War II, and it was fully developed in the Cold War. So, warlike situations do accelerate developments, and this is no less than a warlike situation. Will there be a shift? Not necessarily in the top order of the countries. US will still be number one. China will still struggle to go past US and will get better than anyone else. But still, the difference between the US and China is close to around $6-7 trillion, which is not less. So let's see what happens. And if China does go ahead and surpass US in terms of GDP, it will not be because of coronavirus. It will be because of multitude of other factors. Eurozone, of course, there are a few economies in the Eurozone which are doing exceptionally well. We have the German economy, we have the French economy. The others have always been a bit of a problem. The pigs, we call them, the Portuguese, the Italians, Greece, Spain, and all of that and stuff. So there will be a bit of a problem out there. What really will shift, in my opinion, in terms of business is the way how we are communicating will change economics. Social distancing and work from home will have a much bigger impact on the global business community, how people will go ahead, approach meetings, will approach business models. Will office rents come down because people won't want big offices now? And if office rents come down, there will be a big impact on the way office real estate is perceived, commercial real estate. So all those second, third order, changes in the economy is something we will know only in hindsight. But that is one major shift that we can see. The second major shift I can see is people's reliance on China as a supplier of the world will start coming down. What will happen is that today, any cell phone you look at, any electronic you look at, any company you look at which uses a lot of raw materials, manufacturing base in the world is only purely China. Made in China is what it has been. But over the last 2 years, a couple of things have been happening. One, Chinese authorities are hell bent on reducing their pollution, which is a good thing for the world. So, as a result of which, a lot of these toxic industries, the likes of chemicals, a lot of the toxic metal companies, etc., blast furnaces, etc., they've been shut down. So a lot of other countries, neighboring countries, have gotten benefits of that. Case in point, something like in India. India has benefited from the specialty chemicals move from China to India. This will only accelerate because now a lot of people who had supply chain disruptions because a lot of their things were manufactured in China will now look at alternatives. And here is where there is a big opportunity for India to grab that share of manufacturing from China and a lot of other countries around India as well. We have something like Vietnam, Bangladesh. We've seen how they've done in textiles, etc.
Right.
But I think Indian industry, especially the chemicals, the pharmaceutical industry, has a lot to gain from this. So that is one shift that I see. The second shift. The first one, of course, is the economics of social distancing. The second one would be changes in supply chain. And third, most important, I believe, would be the shift which, according to which will impact your and my life the most, would be the way we perceive restaurants. Because any which way, everyone was ordering in, right? Because of, say, the economics of ordering in, it's cheaper to order in because a cloud kitchen
Convenience.
makes
Yeah.
good quality restaurant food at one fourth the cost of a restaurant food. You get it at the convenience of your house. You do not spend a lot of money going out to a movie theater because now you have Netflix and Amazon. And this lockdown has only accelerated that. So post this lockdown, of course, there will be a euphoria. Everyone would love to go out first because they've been contained inside. But after that spring is released and that bounce happens, is there a fundamental secular shift in the way we eat out and the way we consume media as well? Are you going to go for movies much more than did do earlier or not? We don't know. So that is one industry where I see another shift.
Right. That's really interesting. And only time will tell, I guess.
Only time will tell. Usually, what
Mm.
that's how it happens. So currently there are so many moving parts. Everything Steve Jobs said, right? The dots only connect backward. They
Yeah.
do not connect forward. But here
Right.
we can only look at a few changes and see whether they will become big or not.
You were saying that this can be a good opportunity for India
Mm-hmm.
because people will start realizing how overly reliant they are on China. Now, here I have this just for argument's sake, maybe. So, India has a lot of unskilled labor, but China still has a lot of skilled labor in cheaper costs also. The proportion of skilled labor that we have in India is way less, I think, as compared to China. So won't that still affect you? I mean, like if Apple wants to set up a factory, worker यहाँ पे cheap मिलेगा, but what about the engineer? That they might still get at a cheaper price in China, right?
So when I said that there is an opportunity for India, you have to meet that with a lot of other things as well. The first one, of course, will be the policies that the government has with regards to land, labor, power, and education as well as skill. And also investment opportunities or opening up investment avenues for foreign companies to come back and set up factories in India, etc. So it's a very valid point that you make with regards to the average skill of a laborer in India. And Indian labor is not cheap. I will be very honest with you. The reason why it's optically cheap, you will say, ke, in terms of per hour cost, India labor is cheaper in among the other countries. But the per hour productivity of an Indian labor is also low. So, if a Chinese person makes 10 iPhones an hour and charges X amount, and the Indian laborer or the Indian equivalent charges one tenth the price but just makes one iPhone per hour, So per iPhone, your cost of labor is effectively the same. So more than just the cost of labor, it's important to look at the productivity of labor. And out there, I think India has a huge room for improvement. Productivity in India needs to improve, and a large part of that also is on account of policies, labor policies. If they improve, if people are given the freedom to hire and fire, and people are given the freedom to invest the way they want to without a lot of regulations, ease of doing business that we speak about, then there is much more acceleration for growth. And when I mean to say that there is an opportunity for India to grow, it has to be backed by the right preparedness.
Right,
If I
right.
have an
That's
opportunity
very
and if I'm not
important.
prepared well,
Hmm.
then the opportunity goes from right under your nose. Something that happened in our textile industry, everyone has been saying that there is a huge amount of opportunity for our textile industry, which is the second or third largest employer after, I think, agriculture and the largest employer in the manufacturing space for sure. Uh, Out there, over the last few years, we've seen a lot of market share shift from India to Vietnam to Cambodia and to Bangladesh. We just want to hope and pray and believe that the policies that will come by will ensure that this doesn't happen for other industries like pharmaceuticals, chemicals, etc., and all of that. So, yes, there is an opportunity, but we definitely have to be prepared to grab that opportunity and benefit from it. Otherwise, I mean, it's just any other opportunity that knocks your door and you don't answer it.